Hello, everyone. Good evening, KSFS Radio. This is Nerding Out. Everything nerdy, all things nerdy, anywhere, anytime. My name is Nico.
And this is Gabe.
And yeah, welcome at this lovely evening as usual. Daylight savings time has already occurred, and legit, it has been hella dark right now because it's, I don't know why, but I'll be honest, I don't like daylight savings time because, man, it is getting to evening is very early, even like at 4 p.m.
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
It gets
yeah.
too confusing too. Like
It's like,
they're always like, oh, it's daylight savings. It's like, are we losing an hour? Are we gaining an hour?
hour. But I
don't
feel
know.
like this part of daylight savings time has been very like extreme kind of, because now even like at 4 p.m. it feels like it's already getting like dark usually. So that's just how it is, I guess. But I hope we get back to normal in terms of our scheduling once we get to next year. But we'll see. Should be fine. But yeah, this is episode I think 9 of our podcast for fall 2023, and this week we'll be talking about adaptations. Adaptations that come from other source material, from books to games to anything that becomes any other media that becomes any sort of movie or TV show that happens
Yes, sir.
in throughout the years. So yeah, just to get started, Gabe, what did you do this weekend?
All right, this weekend, unfortunately, I had the closing shift.
Oh
so
no.
no going out basically. But I did play. I'm starting to pick up Terraria again.
Nice.
Amazing
Terraria.
game. Love it. 2D Minecraft with bosses. What? Coolest game ever?
I remember back then people were like, I won't say against each other, but there were Terraria fans and Minecraft fans that were like seeing which is the better game. But both of the devs are supportive of each other. In the menu screens, usually you see like a message. I don't know if it's like based on like your internet or whatever, but they will usually like post messages on the screen, like, oh, it's like something message whatever. But games like Terraria said like, oh, support Minecraft and then support Terraria, which is very interesting so far. So it's a very nice
It's pretty cool that they have like this cool like friendship. They're not trying to be like Battlefield and COD was back in the day.
Back in the day.
Yeah, dude. They had the thing where it was like, like the yellow text on the main menu, and it was like, try out Terraria, and Minecraft, and then Terraria goes,
try out Minecraft. Yeah.
I don't remember who said it. Someone says it because they don't have a text in front.
I think, but I remember it happening, but I forgot like who the person is or was. I guess probably like the staff or whatever. But I don't know if it's like community notes or whatever. But I think it's probably made by staff, I guess. I'm assuming, unless it's a mod or whatever. But that's another story. But yeah. I guess in terms of my weekend, I went back to Japantown in a while. I haven't been to Japantown in I think 3 months lately, so I'm like, oh, it's been pain, but
I saw the pictures. The pictures are really nice.
Yes, it's very nice. So, I've been doing eBay like bidding lately, and it's been kind of pain because it's there's a system where you can basically like debate people in terms of like the actual price that you get bidded and such. That's just how it is. But it's it's a whole process and a half. And I got a Fujifilm X-T20, which is like in my backpack right now. It's a very nice camera.
Nice.
If you want to take film photography without spending too much on the normal films, because those get costly if you're using film. So I got it about like I think $300, which is compared to like from back then it's like 1.5 because it's a Fujifilm camera, so it's a very good steal. But
sounds like it.
Yeah, Japantown. Last weekend it was the Mini Art Mart, which is think of it as like an artist alley, but it happens weekly. Not weekly, monthly. It's a monthly thing, and local artists who mostly do like a lot of like art stuff, anime, cartoon related, and all this such. It's they come down there and just promote their work and all that such, and it's pretty nice though. It's a very quaint place. I often like visit there whenever I have the time, and it's a good place to be at if you're in SF and such. But and that's basically it for our weekends for the meantime. Let's get started, shall we? So
yes, sir.
Last weekend the Netflix Geek Week happened. and a lot of stuff has been released in terms of
You wanna explain Geek Week?
Yes, Geek Week. So this is not related to like Geek Week in general, but during the pandemic, companies have shifted from IRL like conventions to more highly produced like showcases of their work. So Netflix Geek Week is mainly a showcase on anything geek, from anime to cartoons to live action stuff that are being produced or are in progress of for the Netflix brand. And this specific weekend, they release a lot of like shows and teasers and all this stuff for upcoming works, and there's a bunch to talk about. Especially I think one of the main ones that people are talking about is the new Avatar remake. Avatar: The Last Airbender, specifically, not Avatar, the James Cameron one. But yeah, just to be clear, and I'll be honest, it looks solid.
Yeah, I've seen the cast, and it's a very solid cast.
It's a very solid cast.
Actually, like putting the race, like not making it an entirely white race.
Yeah.
Like cast. I don't know why I said white race cast.
Yeah, because
kind of sounded
back
weird.
then, if anyone here knows, the 2009 one was made by M. Night Shyamalan, and it was a very questionable adaptation for.
It was bad.
Yeah, it was bad.
We don't sugarcoat it.
Yes, it's very bad. And such. But when the news broke out that they're remaking Avatar: The Last Airbender, people were like both surprised in a good way, but also skeptical, because live action stuff is a very hard thing to adapt in certain media. And when people saw the trailer for Avatar: The Last Airbender, I think most people are very excited for it releasing soon, especially.
It looks promising.
It looks promising,
especially now that I don't know. I feel like
they're learning their lessons, especially like previous live action stuff that that Netflix has done. The original Death Note, and then Cowboy Bebop and all such. I feel like
they're learning. They're adapting.
Netflix is beginning to learn
because current live actions aren't bad either. I want to say, besides FNAF, I want to say there was another recent live action that was good.
For which one specifically?
I don't. It's on the tip of my tongue. I recently watched it, and the One Piece one. The One Piece one was pretty well received.
Yeah, pretty well received. It's an anime, so there's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to be missed and all such. But for a adaptation that's in its own, based on a manga, it's pretty solid in its own universe as well. So
I feel like faith is coming back into live action
stuff. It's been a hard thing, but I think once it's more of a balance between adapting putting the source material in those
adaptations,
live action ones, and just adjusting it to make sure that it doesn't
it doesn't stray too far.
It doesn't stray too far, but at least be enough that it's its own thing, but also staying faithful. It's a balance that Netflix has to make now. So
they're definitely doing better.
Yeah, it's a very solid one, especially watch remembering it back then. Man, I thought it was going to be the best thing, since during that time I was watching Avatar when I first came here in the US, and I was like, oh, they're making a live action, and then turns out it's pretty bad. I'm like, oh, yeah, and then. Yeah, it never happened. So yeah, it's just how it is really. So, but some other ones, Yu Yu Hakusho.
They're getting one too.
They're getting a live action one. A Japanese live action one specifically, and it looks good as well. And I'll be excited to see what's the season, especially because we'll see how it goes, especially shonen anime, especially I think something that they can adapt, especially because one of the other live action ones that is very good with in terms of action but not making it too over the top is Rurouni Kenshin.
Which one is that one? That one I'm unfamiliar.
Rurouni Kenshin is basically is a anime about this I would say samurai. I think he's more of like a ronin. Basically, he does like a lot of like jobs that deal with assassinating and all of such. And it turns out that he doesn't want to do kill anyone. So he has a sword that is basically like a back hilt. So it's like a reverse sword basically. The curved sword is very, it's in sharp. It's like a bat.
Yeah.
And then the front one is normal.
That's like the defense part of
the
like
defense
the sword.
part. Yeah. So usually usually with swords you have the sharp one for slicing and all such. But his sword is meant to just knock them out and all such. But that's basically like the concept of it, and this takes place I think in like before like World War One type, like World War One Japan. It's like Imperial Japan basically, and it's a good one especially because I think the main actor is a very like well-known actor. I know I forgot the whole his entire name, but anyone here knows Kamen Rider. He's the protagonist for Kamen Rider Den-O, which is the season about trains and all that such.
Isn't Kamen Rider basically like Power Rangers?
The thing with Kamen Rider and Super Sentai, aka Power Rangers, is that they're technically with each other, but their concept is kind of different in a way.
Yeah. Power
Rangers is more centric towards like a team. Usually, you would see like a team be like fighting with each other and all of such. It will be rare to like find like one person unless it's like the hero Power Rangers, which is usually red.
Yeah.
But which is interesting. But yeah, it's but Kamen Rider is like in its it's a different like format. Usually, it's like there's the main writer, which is like the focus of like the season, whatever, and then you have the secondary writer. It's like usually like a sidekick in a way, but things change in terms of like depending on the season. And then there's like a third writer, which is like your third writer, and it's like it's kind of weird, but depending on the story, it's like they usually either like team up or they usually do a 1-on-1 against each other. So it's interesting. There's a bunch of stuff, especially
Kamen Rider lore right now, dude.
It's I'll probably explain it in a future episode, but it's a huge thing to talk about. But it's entirely different in its own compared to like Power Rangers. But
yeah,
to be honest though, I wish Kamen Rider did well, had a chance in the outside of Japan, because there was a Kamen Rider Black RX was adapted by Saban, which is like the person who is in charge of like Power Rangers and all such, and they butchered it so much that we never Kamen Rider was never Americanized. I won't say Americanized, but more like adapted to like the American audience, because Power Rangers is what we know here in the US, and Super Sentai is what it is in Japan. So we never had a Kamen Rider. Well, technically we have an American one. It's called Dragon Knight, but that's
I've never heard of that.
It's very niche. It's based on like one of the seasons, but it has a different story. It's same concept but different story for the American audience.
We have a Super Sentai series enjoyer in chat right now.
Yes, what did they say?
They just said, "Ooh, I love the Super Sentai series more, to be honest."
I mean, it's fun and all. As I said before, it's technically in conjunction with each other. I grew up with Power Rangers mainly. I think my favorite was RPM, which is it's a very good one. It's a dark story, but it's a very like solid season. But I mean, to each its own. Really, I prefer like Kamen Rider now because it's very unique in terms of its storytelling, but also it's the dynamics of different characters isn't like, from what I've said before, main writer, secondary writer, the third writer, and like the territory writers, which is like any writer that's not like the 3 or 4, and it gets very complex. Especially, we'll probably talk about it in a future episode, especially the latest latest episode, which is Kamen Rider Geats, which is basically a battle royale of sorts. So yeah, that's will be a nice talk to talk about.
Since we're on since Adaptations is today's main episode.
Yes.
And the Game Awards The vote just came out for Adaptations. So
oh my god,
I have it pulled up.
I know they released the poll for best game of the year.
Game of the year. Let's be honest, Baldur's Gate's winning.
Yeah, Baldur's Gate has to win because there's a bunch of contenders, especially, but I think Baldur's Gate has to.
Wasn't like 3 of like the contenders for Game of the Year weren't like didn't they just release like a couple of them? I feel
which one?
I don't remember, but
like Spider-Man. Well, Spider-Man was there.
Yeah, I know Spider-Man was there, but like I want to say like 2 to 3 like release in like the past couple months.
Let me check because I mean at this point I really hope Baldur's Gate win.
Okay. Yeah. I mean it's obviously gonna win, dude. There's no way it doesn't. But let's focus on the adaptation thing real quick. So
yeah. What's up?
So we got Castlevania Nocturne.
Oh, this is for like animated shows, right? Specifically, or is it like games?
It's just adaptations of games in general.
Yeah.
They have Gran Turismo, The Last of Us, the Super Mario Bros. Movie.
Oh, that's hard.
And Twisted Metal.
That's hard. The question is, what are they looking for? That's a thing.
Just best adaptation.
To
be honest, I don't know. Yeah, no, this one is hard.
Okay. Castlevania Nocturne, I would say that's very solid.
Yeah.
You know, it's Castlevania. Like, what do you expect? Richter fighting vampires and all this stuff. You know, it's solid in itself. Action is very solid. You know, it's very intriguing. It's set in the French Revolution as well. So, it's if you're looking for action in Castlevania, they've done very solid as well. And then Gran Turismo, for all it's worth, it's very good.
It's a faithful adaptation.
It's it doesn't have a story, by the way. It doesn't have a story.
I thought it does. It's based on the real guy.
Well, it's based on the real guy, but in terms of the game, it's racing.
He just played it, yeah.
But but this Gran Turismo is a racing game which takes place this is a story of a guy who became a race car driver for a GT tournament. Just like
and he was playing Gran Turismo,
and all of a sudden he receives like a invitation to compete in a championship to be able to be placed for I won't say internship, but to be in a spot for Nissan, which is the car company, to race for them, which is very, very dope like premise though. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's cool. You know.
Yeah.
Like especially like if you're into cars.
If you're into cars, and the audio work was pretty nice. Yeah. Imagine watching it like IMAX. I'm like, oh, the car sounds.
Yeah. But Last of Us next. The Last of Us adaptation was really well made. You know,
it's very solid.
I want to say like there's maybe like a couple things they skipped, but I feel like it wasn't even that major.
It's nothing major, but at the same point, that's just basically part one. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
It's for what it is, and telling the story of Joel and Ellie and all that such. It's it put all points there. For the adaptation for HBO.
The Mario movie.
It's Mario.
Chris Pratt killed it. What could I say?
Yeah, he people were doubting like when I remember when it was first like announced the voice actors for Mario. People were I won't say doubting in a bad way, but more like it was hella surprising because it's Mario.
Yeah, like what's the movie behind there besides just like I gotta go save the princess? Yeah, and they did a really good job creating like a cool story.
Story. People were like doubting because the company who animated that was mainly known for Minions and all such, but the fact that they pulled through, I'm like, that's pretty nice. So yeah, it's very solid. It's pretty solid, animated. And
then
Nintendo animated so far.
And then Twisted Metal, I haven't seen it. I've seen clips of it. And it seems really good. I wanna watch it. I forgot that they adapted it.
Yeah, I mean, Twisted Metal, it's very solid. Like, but compared to like the other stuff, I feel like the other ones would fare better. But in terms of them making a story for Twisted Metal, it's very good. It's very good. I know it's a streaming service exclusive, like program or whatever. But it's very good, very good. Like. They're planning to make a second season, which is gonna introduce Calypso, which is like the main bad of the
series.
It's kind of interesting because it's a post-apocalyptic game that has supernatural elements, which is a very interesting concept. But it's been a very well-known IP for PlayStation in a while. But question is that they're planning on, well, Nintendo is planning to make a Legend of Zelda movie
adaptation,
and that's gonna be interesting.
And it's live action too.
And it's live action. I'm like, oh.
I feel like they should have stuck with the animated route.
Yeah, I'll be honest, because it's compared to like Super Mario and all such. It's a different vibe, but depending on what story they're gonna adapt, though, that's gonna be.
Yeah, dude. I feel like doing like the actual Zelda timeline would be so. That's like their own like.
There's like a bunch
MCU
of stories
right there, dude.
There's like a bunch of stories they can take, but I think personally, we don't know we don't exactly know which one though, but they might probably just do the basic one, just Ocarina of Time. I kind of wish they would. I kind of wish that one day will probably like watch like a one for Twilight Princess, because I feel like
Twilight Princess
is
cool.
a very I would say the best story in my books.
I'm trying to think of like one that's like super like compact, you know.
Skyward Sword.
I feel like the flying would be weird, like having Link fly to islands and stuff like that. And then I feel like that would be too much work. I think Ocarina of Time would be the safest choice.
I mean, that's the safest choice, really.
You know, I'm kind of hoping, Majora's Mask animated or not even animated, live action.
Oh, that'd be crazy.
That would be pretty cool.
Crazy.
Dude, the Goron, Zora,
Goron, Zora, and the moon, dude.
Dude, the moon would be insane, dude.
That'll be scary as heck, dude. But yeah, that's I don't know. This is gonna be a hard pick though, because this year has been very solid with video game based video game to movie or show releases so far. But the question is based on what are they looking for really? Is it like the technical aspect? Is it story aspect? Is it the animation or style? That's a question that will probably be answered when closer to Game Awards release. And yeah, it's gonna be wild to see what's up for that as well. Let's see what other stuff. Devil May Cry, okay. Devil May Cry.
They're getting an adaptation.
Yes, by Netflix.
Ooh,
they announced it.
That's pretty interesting. Devil May Cry, hack and slash, cool. I wonder if they're gonna be able to get the exaggerated swagger of the edgelords.
Yeah, because it's mainly an action. It's an action game, so it's gonna be a lot of stuff that's gonna be happening. It's probably similar out as a Nocturne, but as crazy as it is as well. And then the surprising one that I think took me kind of like off guard was Terminator.
Terminator?
They're making an anime of Terminator.
What?
By Production IG.
That's pretty.
The ones that made Psycho-Pass and Ghost in the Shell. So just
I could see them doing that, but I don't know. I feel like Terminator would be like the last IP to get like animated. Because
the recent like sequels for Terminator has been weird lately in terms of just continuity and all that such, and keeping characters alive. So now we spoiler alert, we don't have a John Connor anymore. So that's pretty weird. But
I love it when series are so long that like the continuity is so confusing, and then no one could. You gotta watch like six different videos.
But even those, like there's there's Terminator Salvation, and there's the other one with Emilia Clarke as Sarah Connor. And then that never happened, and then we got the latest one. I'm like, oh my god,
dude,
what is happening?
Barefooted Poet asked.
Oh no,
I know, crazy name.
Oh no.
What we think of the Payday show adaptation? I don't think Payday.
There's a Payday show adaptation.
I was trying to look it up, and they said that they.
By who?
Probably the same people that like created it. I know like Payday does like these weird live action.
Yeah, they made a live action once during Payday 2, for whenever they're teasing like new content and all such, which is pretty nice too.
Yeah.
But they're making a show.
I'm not sure if it's a show. I was trying to look it up on
because
the
they made a
computer.
web series and all such for like the for their stuff, just for like lore and all of such. But I have never heard of it.
I feel like a Payday show would be pretty cool. Like each episode would be a heist. What goes wrong? How they get away.
I mean, they can do it, especially with the Payday 3 trailer that they released for the game, which is pretty nice. But I mean, it depends. Is there news about it?
I've been trying to find something. Everything's from February, and it's talking about like Payday 3 the game, and not the actual like if there's a TV series. But oh wait, no. Unless I might have found it.
It'll be interesting. It'll be solid. I mean, it's it's a heist like show.
I don't think it's the Payday we're thinking of. The one.
I mean that's the only Payday. I mean, unless there's other.
You'd be surprised on how many shows have the name Payday. So
what the heck? Because I mean
the movie, the one I just
found.
Money
Heist with.
Nah, there's one called Payday, but it's each episode takes place in a different city and follows 4 people. In this season, we visit Memphis, Reno, Salt Lake City, Baltimore.
That is not.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like.
Doesn't sound like the heist game that we know, but
yeah,
and that's we'll see how it goes. But I think Also, one thing to note is Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. It was releasing.
Yeah. I posted that on my story.
On the story, it do be, and it's. Yeah, let's talk about Scott Pilgrim for a bit. Really, like seeing the cast and all that such. Like thinking about it right now, it's a very jam-packed cast.
Isn't it? Like, didn't like a majority of the cast come back to voice it as well?
All of the cast came. All of it. 100%.
Dude, that's pretty fire, dude.
But what's fire is that I remember like watching it and enjoying like back then, like 2009, 2010, and I realized the cast is very like stacked.
Yeah, dude.
As a coming of age.
Yeah, they had dude. Like before I even,
Michael Cera, and then Mary Elizabeth Winstead, and then Captain America of all places. What the heck?
Like seeing all these actors in like all these new different movies, it's like wow, they really were just like Scott Pilgrim when I was young. You know?
I'm like, dude, who's the director that made this? It's
I'm terrible with directors.
It's let me check, because he's the guy who made Shaun of the Dead and all of such, and it's
Edgar Wright.
Edgar Wright, yeah, he made a banger.
Bro.
He made a banger of a cast.
He makes banger movies in general, bro.
I mean, yeah, but at the same time, the fact that he made a movie about Scott Pilgrim, and then all of a sudden he somehow got a cast that will eventually become very like big in their different ways. That's wild.
That's fire, dude.
Like, okay, yeah, Michael Cera and then Mary Elizabeth Winstead, and then Captain America, and then there's there's that dude who has vegan powers or something. He also is successful as well. He did Superman and CW stuff. I'm like, dang. And then Brie Larson now is current Captain Marvel, which is I haven't seen the movie, but I heard very bad reviews. That's a different story, but still solid. But still though. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what's more to show, because live action stuff usually has it usually limits you with different like scenes that you can do, but. Yeah, well, I'm excited to see.
I mean, I feel like the live action got like, they did what they could, and
they did what
it was
could.
great.
It's still successful.
Yeah,
I'm like, it's very good as well. And as I said before, the cast is star filled. So we'll see how it goes, and I will review it when it releases. I don't know if they're going to do it like a one season thing, but they might be.
I think it's a Netflix.
Well, it depends though. Some of them is like episodic, one episode per week. But
I'm pretty sure I saw that it was all dropping in the same day. 8 episodes, I believe. 8 episodes all in the same day.
Yeah, should be solid though. Especially we dope.
In 4 days it drops.
In 4 days? Oh man, I'll be like, wait, 4 days. That's Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Thursday or Friday.
I'm pretty sure that's Friday.
Friday, whatever. I mean, I kind of count the day, as one, but
Yeah.
it'll be dope to watch during Thanksgiving weekend.
Oh, 100%.
Also, gotta prep for Black Friday as well, because Black Friday's gonna be something.
Yeah, dude. I gotta look at my list for Black Friday.
You're listening to KSFS San Francisco at beccamedia.net/KSFS Radio. KSFS is a service of the Broadcast Electronic Communication Arts Department at San Francisco State University. Some rights reserved under Creative Commons license. Nice, let's go.
I know, yeah.
But yeah, we'll see how it goes. So with Black Friday, because there's some stuff I kind of want to get, but at the same time, since midnight is like, depending on the area, it will basically have to battle against
dude,
multiple
I don't
people.
know, dude. I feel like as Black Friday's gone, I feel like I've seen less people just
participate, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean,
because it's all about Cyber Monday.
Cyber Monday, in a way. But I'll be honest, I think, depends on what you're getting, but I think people will gravitate towards
I know.
Cyber
I'm
Monday
going to max out my credit card.
Oh, no.
That's crazy. That's just crazy to say on
crazy.
air. Maxing out my credit card on Black Friday / Cyber Monday.
It will be wild as well. Yeah, that's basically Netflix Geek Week. That's been happening last weekend. Nothing too big, crazy like releases and teasers that have been posted, but other than that's we'll see what it goes. So it's pretty nice. Yeah. Other than that, I'll probably kind of want to talk about some other like book to movie movies that released in the 2010s, because I feel like during the time when I was still in high school, a bunch of movies that are based on books and all such has been propping up during that time period. Hunger Games and Maze Runner and some other stuff as well that I'm missing out. It's like it propped up like all of a sudden, like I think early 2010s, and then it reached it continued I think 2016 or 17, I think, specifically. Oh yeah, Divergence. That's the other one as well that I forgot. So
Shawshank Redemption. Oh wait, that didn't come out.
Shawshank Redemption. What the? No, that's
not it from our time.
No, that's not it. That's not it.
I was just trying to think of like good adaptations, and I was like,
I mean, it's a good film. It's a good film, and such, but that's a different. But I'm talking about specifically young adult like books. Young adult books. It's usually they're like science fiction and post-apocalyptic.
When did Blade Runner come out?
Blade Runner is like 19-somethings, 1980s, 90s.
Yeah,
but they made a recent one 80s. with Ryan Gosling, and it's pretty solid. But
yeah,
it's the cyberpunk aesthetic is something that
I love cyberpunk
is
so
very
much.
nice as well. I wish I wish Ghost in the Shell live action, the one that they made, I wish it had more of a chance, I guess, because I feel like in terms of its aesthetic and it's
like 2017 film.
Yeah, it's 2017. It's I wish it had more of a chance to make like a sequel or something, but it didn't do so well, I guess.
Yeah,
what it is. But man, dude, it's they got the guy who did they got a Japanese actor in the film. I forgot his name, but he's very good as well. He portrayed the leader of the special task force.
Aramaki?
Aramaki.
Yeah.
But the live action actor, I mean, he's very
he's fire.
He's fire.
Nice.
There's one of the scenes where he was getting into his car saying that, oh, we're like burned, meaning that, oh, we are burned in technical terms means that they've been identified or whatever sorts, and they're hunting them down by like, I think these like mercenary groups that are just eliminating the PMCs. But in terms of like the Ghost in the Shell lore, the special group, the special task force is like a group of like skilled individuals that somehow been formed due to like certain like circumstances, and they can survive on their own like 100%. So the leader of the group went to his car, and all of a sudden like these mercenary folks like began shooting the car, and all of a sudden and all of a sudden they're checking the car, and one goes near the car door, and the dude like kicks the door and then begins like just like gunning them. I'm like, dang, with this revolver.
Gunning them with a revolver is crazy.
Because they got like they got like submachine guns and all of such, and they got like ballistic mass, and they got like the dude like got them, and it's exact like I think amount of ammo was like I think like 6 or 8, and he got him like oh,
dude,
it was pretty
dead eye right there.
Pretty dope maneuver. But talking about the book, the young adult like movie adaptations, basically. I think one of the ones I think was in terms of that most influential is Hunger Games. Hunger Games is a known like book to movie adaptation. About survival. Based on like districts and all such. Yeah. Basically, your battle royale, due to some conflict that happened on in their districts, and yeah, I believe it's like I think 4 movies, specifically, and then the last like book they split it to like 2 parts, and I feel like it's a very interesting like ride, especially Katniss Everdeen, like journey to like survivor of like 2 of the Hunger Games, and then becoming a resistance fighter. So yeah, it's very wild to like show to I guess to experience, especially.
Yeah, dude, very very faithful adaptation. I
the like, first ever, and then all of a sudden like all these other ones like propped up, and then it's
I mean, I feel like there are like a lot of good book adaptations, but it's just like more the action driven ones tend to be less faithful, because I feel like the books we would read like in high school, like English class, like I would say like a majority of those got like pretty fair adaptations. Like it got the story pretty well, the environment was right, but it's always like the action ones that are always like hit or miss. I
think one Maze Runner was a very big one, especially with like their CGI and all such. Yeah, and I feel like that's in itself it's what it is. Maze Runner. It's kind of like it's an interesting concept, especially they got I think these teens or whatever, they were put into like a maze or something. I forgot. I remember correctly.
And then they run.
But I don't know the exact reason why, because if
I think they get supplies from the maze and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because like their area doesn't like, you can't
grow anything, I think, specifically.
Or there's no water or something like that, no clothing. So
but I think
you run into the maze.
I think the reason was that there's like these creatures or something that propped up in the world, whatever, and they're like testing like these teenagers in terms like their survivability or something. It's kind of like a weird concept or whatever, but it gets wild like once they get out and all that such, and they get to like the world, and yeah, it's a very interesting like show, especially very interesting movie as well. I know one of in terms like the worst like adaptations that I've been like seeing so far. Do you know Dragon Ball?
Yeah, dude. Oh my god.
That was
so bad. Dude.
It was very wild.
As a Hispanic kid watching Dragon Ball, that made me almost just throw in the towel.
Those.
I don't know, dude. I feel like Dragon Ball is too ambitious. Like I feel like even like in today's time,
there's too much stuff.
There's too much, dude.
Because the action wise, it's not like One Piece where they're mainly like in the ground or whatever, and all of they like deal with their powers and all such. But they're like in the sky is usually fighting.
There's constant aura. There's constant like energy blast. It's like imagine like just CGIing Iron Man, and then you gotta like CGI him like 13 times within like 13 different characters and how they fight.
Yeah, it's gonna get very expensive with like the CGI stuff. I'm like, oh god. Like, but watching it was it was very.
You would need a lot of money just to fund that. It's way too ambitious. Like One Piece, yeah. Like they didn't even use like Luffy's powers that often too, like to save up on the CGI budget. But then for Dragon Ball, like
There's a bunch.
You can't.
You can't really.
Yeah, dude.
Because there's like a bunch. That's Dragon Ball. That's the point.
Yeah, exactly.
But putting it into like live action form is like impossible levels, especially like even if like you condense it to like, a season similar to One Piece, it's the point is the action, which is
Yeah, dude. I feel like even like in like a 2-hour movie, like no matter, because one, I feel like you can't even do a Dragon Ball arc into like
in a
like
2-hour movie. It's not
because there's
not even MCU can even do that. Like
because there's so much like filler. There's like important filler, which is kind of annoying in Dragon Ball. It's like, everyone gets their power ups, but you kind of have to see how they get their power ups.
I'm like, nope, that's gonna take years, even like decades, basically, to just even do live action. So that was man, that would be wild if someone even remade it in this age. I'm like, oh,
I feel like it would be better in this age, but it could still be like subpar,
Yeah,
because like it's like they tried. Like, they probably slaved away, but it's...
I don't think it's even worth the pain, really.
Exactly.
Compared to animated, because animated, you're like... your freedom... Like, freedom is very high in terms of...
It's easier to draw, like...
Easier to draw than, like, have CGI plus people, like, coordination.
Especially... Because auras are a big thing in Dragon Ball, and just having to CGI that around almost every person, like, on screen would be terrible.
That's like hell, basically.
Yeah.
That's gonna take a lot of budget, but it won't even be worth it. So
yeah, dude,
that's pain. But I remember. But other than that, in terms of adaptations, it's a very interesting concept. And one of the things that is in a way, it's more of like a homage to just geek culture in general. Is Ready Player One.
Ooh.
Ready Player One is it's from a book. It's they adapted to the big screen.
It's basically,
and it's basically
just Easter eggs. It's like a
Easter egg,
heaven.
Easter egg the movie. But in terms of like the concept, I think it's like a post-apocalyptic world or something along those lines.
It's
very like
it's basically like, imagine a world that's been taken over by VR chat, basically.
Yeah, VR chat.
And then in VR chat, the creator's like, it's literally VR chat One Piece, because the creator's like, you want my fortune?
It's like
you have to answer my 3 riddles.
It's like Sword Art Online minus the death.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Yeah,
and then like it's very like gamer culture heavy.
They happen to manage to get deals just to put them on the big screen. Just wild,
dude. The amount of deals they got is crazy. I remember
they got Gundam.
They got Gundam. They got Ninja Turtles.
The fact that they got Gundam for like 5 minutes. That's wild.
Dude. They had that was like,
I know the story
as
is
dumb
pretty,
as it sounds.
I know the story is
Fortnite.
Yeah,
that's basically
Fortnite.
That was our Fortnite back then, before Fortnite even came out.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting to like see it now, because I feel like it takes a lot just to like get others to use their products,
like IP and stuff,
their IP and such for that, and especially for certain scenes as well. As I said before, Gundam took like, I think, 5 minutes or 3 minutes or something, and that might have probably from that perspective, probably millions of dollars just to like put it on the screen. But the fact that what's dope is that they actually made it into like, in live action, and
it was really well made live action too. It was like,
I know the story is kind of like non-existent, because that's basically the story. Get my treasure, and you get you get VR chat basically.
Yeah.
But in terms of having just coordinated chaos in Ready Player One, it's very nice to see on the big screen, especially.
I remember watching at the end, I was like, how many Easter eggs were in Ready Player One? And I was like counting with the dude. I was like, yeah, I got that one. And then when I saw one I didn't get, I was like, am I not gamer enough, dude?
Oh, yeah. It's nice, it's nice just to have like just more of like a sneak peek, quote unquote, in what can happen,
They have didn't the author make Ready Player 2? I want to say.
I think so.
Do you think that ever's? I don't even know what that one's about. I think that one's weird. People said that one was weird. So I think.
I mean, I feel like Ready Player One. It's in its own self already fine. You know, that's basically just a story. You know, it's a homage type of movie, but I don't think it's going to be a something that will be made into a second movie. You know, especially the amount of IPs, dude. That's like a bunch of like stuff. You know, as much as it said, as said, I kind of wish someone would make a Gundam live action, even if it's like a CGI one, because I feel like it might be interesting, but you know,
maybe if like.
You know the lines of in the line, because you know we already have like things like Pacific Rim and all that such, but I don't know, especially because there's like a bunch of like Gundams.
It's like space based. There's a lot of the time now.
Usually there's a lot of space, but there's like lands. There's like either space or land.
Yeah,
because not every like Gundam that's created like in terms of, like their seasons are like zooming like they're like Jedi's or whatever. They have like ground based ones, you know.
I feel like a grounded Gundam is possible.
Probably like Iron Blooded Orphans, you know.
Oh yeah, Iron Blooded Orphans would definitely
08 MS, you know, those ones that feel like they're like soldiers in huge suits, you know. That might be something that I feel like possible, quote unquote.
It could either be super messed, or it's either gonna bomb, or
it's going to be the best thing.
Or throw mech animation like or crazy. Mech live action like through the roof, bro. Everyone's gonna want to buy their stuff.
Is there any other like mech stuff adaptations to film except for like Pacific Rim lately? It's kind of hard.
Yeah, I don't want to. I'll look it up.
Because like I know in animated ones there's there's a bunch, but I don't know if there's any other ones other than Pacific Rim.
Yeah, like where they have like big robots, and it's not
robots as like the main focus. But
I'm gonna look.
I mean, other than Godzilla is another thing, but I'm talking about like mecha.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say Godzilla, but it's like that doesn't really count.
That's a monster. That's a monster film. It's dope, but I'm talking about like mecha.
I guess Transformers. I guess.
I mean, Transformers is solid and stuff, but that's more of like.
That's like like it's not as big, you know.
It's kind of hard to say because this like mecha. I feel like it has to require something with like a pilot because Transformers are like beings on its own. You know, they have like thinking and speaking and free will quote unquote, but they're sentient beings specifically.
I would say like. Besides Pacific Rim, the closest thing you're gonna get is either Transformers or ironically enough, Power Rangers.
Oh yeah,
because they have mechs.
Oh yeah, they have technically mechs, but it requires 5B.
Yeah, like
that makes sense.
Like I'm going down the list. It's either like all animes or Transformers / Pacific Rim.
Yeah, that's So be interesting, but yeah,
I feel like a Pacific Rim one would encourage people to
to seek out
or like just like a decent like mech that like it doesn't have to be Pacific Rim. It doesn't have to like mech versus mech would be pretty cool to see, but I feel like it's just an expensive risk, you know. Like
it's a risk basically because it's simple. Like last week I was talking about Iron Man, right?
Yeah,
and the reason why I liked Iron Man 2009 was how they animated the joints of the mech of Iron Man suit, like Mark II, and it's like it's believable to a point, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's a suit, it's made out of mechanized parts and all such, and it's being formed with robots. So it's something that people I guess like more because it's more of a superhero type of way, but in a more believable format. At the end of the day, he's still human, but a suit that's able to tank a lot of bullets, huge artillery rounds and all that. It's pretty wild though. It may not be realistic, because that sense because it's a huge round, but in terms of believability, it's something that can possibly happen. With the intellect. So. Yeah, that's cool. It's pretty cool so far, but Yeah, that's that's basically some adaptations that we've been like thinking about.
Yeah,
It's been wild. It depends on how different studios like make it. It may be something like a hit or miss type of situation.
I feel like video games have kind of been on the rise with live actions. Like even like
because there's a lot of variety when it comes to video games.
Yeah, like the which one? The Uncharted one.
Uncharted
one did good. Like I think my only complaint was it was surprisingly enough, it was more unrealistic than the game. Like at the end, that was like the only thing I really would say about it.
Wait, what's the last one where they had like helicopters and stuff? They were like
for the movie,
the movie.
Yeah, they like get a helicopter and they raise like they use one helicopter, raise this entire pirate ship that's filled up with like gold and other stuff. And then another helicopter also has an abandoned or sunken pirate ship, and like they ram into each other, and it's like I feel like even in the games like they always kept like a sense of real, like there's always like
it's crazy but not to the point where it's not like I won't say weird but more like just unrealistic situation. It's more like a scenario thing basically.
Like video games it makes sense, like the cave is exploding and then Nate like avoids all the rocks or something like that. Like it makes sense, it's a video game. But then in this one, when I saw the pirate ship scene, I was like, dude, this is way more goofier than like the games, because I can't remember anything that like super out of pocket from the games. It was always like puzzles or they're
usually
sniped
I
at.
mean, for how crazy Uncharted is with their action, and as it is, a pirate pirate hunter, no, not pirate hunter, treasure hunter basically.
Yeah,
it's based on the environment around them. It's not like all of a sudden you see like a huge silo or whatever of missiles. It's the world, like the surroundings, like crushing them, due to like the curse or whatever, all such. But I feel like it's more like in a sense like Indiana Jones. It's the treasure hunter type of action, but action to the point where like crazy action to the point where it's not like things like the world is like burning around them. That makes sense. So I don't know, I feel like the helicopter one was like crazy.
That one's super, like the rest I could believe,
but the last part is like crazy, because even then I feel like that's wild. It's wild. But the only one that's like the normal one that I feel like that's very like based on the games as well was Uncharted 3, which is like Nathan falling from, well, not falling exactly, but like hanging from the transport cargo plane with the all the stuff, which is based off, which is I guess I won't say realistic, but more like not too crazy in terms of its adaptation. But yeah,
did they?
Which one?
Did they do a Monster Hunter movie?
Yes, they made the Monster Hunter movie.
I'm trying to look up like movies, because like a lot of like video game movies are hit or miss. Like I'm seeing like
Resident Evil.
Resident Evil is very miss in my opinion.
Yeah.
Sonic. The Sonic ones.
The thing is
they're good. The
thing is that Resident Evil in itself is trying to be in its own contained universe.
Yeah.
The weirdest thing is that they're trying to just keep Alice as like the main like protagonist in sorts, and they're trying to you know what I hate is that they use titular characters that we all know and love, and they just like just never mention them. Chris Redfield, he's not there anymore. I don't know why. But
why is he not? What the? He's like one of like the most important characters in like the series.
Well, how they introduced him in the movie universe is that he's in prison or something along those lines. And all of a sudden, he breaks out because he's Chris Redfield. But once he gets to the next film, he never gets mentioned again. I'm like, what? And all such. And then they showed Leon Kennedy. I'm like, what? Which is okay, but at the same time, they never mention him because it's kind of weird. It's all weird. Like
oh my god, I'm like looking.
They have Ada Wong, by the way. I'm like, they mentioned they have those two, but they never mentioned it in the next film. I'm like, oh my, dude, I feel pain.
Yeah, dude, because I'm just like reading. These are supposed video game like things that are coming out supposedly. Because I'm seeing. I completely forgot. I can't even remember if this was real or not. The Minecraft movie supposedly.
Well, they haven't released that. They haven't announced that they released that yet.
Mega Man, Firewatch, Saints Row, like these. I feel like
there's a Borderlands one that's coming out.
Yeah, I'm not excited for that one. I think that one's gonna flop, to be honest.
I don't know. It's kind of weird because Roland's actor is Kevin Hart, and that's gonna be
bro, that's terrible.
That's interesting, but I don't know. Dude. I don't feel.
No, that's terrible.
I don't feel hope.
It's gonna be bad.
I don't feel
just
hope.
off of that like piece of information, it's gonna be bad.
I mean, I don't feel hope in itself because it's just basically how it is. But
you know, it was super mid. I think the Mortal Kombat movie was super mid, like the live action. Like, I didn't understand why they didn't just make one of the characters the main character, like Liu Kang or something.
Yeah, Liu Kang is not a main character. It's just part of the when they met. But
yeah, he's just like it's just some random dude. And dude, the entire time they never say his name, right? So I'm like, oh, this is like one of the Mortal Kombat characters. Like
he's not a Mortal Kombat. I think he's the child of Scorpion. I think.
I have no idea. I don't remember.
I think because there's another because spoilers for the film, but the mom and the other kid died.
Yeah.
Basically.
I don't know, dude. Supposedly a second one was supposed to come out.
They're planning on making a second one, but I don't know how they're gonna do it because they're teasing Johnny Cage as like the main one, but I don't know who's gonna do it. But it's gonna be interesting. But
yeah, I think that's about all the time we have.
That's all the time we have. Thank you all for listening. Next week we won't be having an episode because Thanksgiving
break.
So
let's go.
Basically the week is going to just be
just regular music.
Regular music, I guess, but campus won't be open because it's Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
no one's gonna be here, and no one's gonna open the building. So yeah, that's gonna be that's basically the episode and such. But yeah, other than that, thank you all for listening. We thank you all for listening to this episode.
Yeah, dude.
Have a nice evening. Get home safe, y'all.
Yeah, drive home safe.
And also happy Thanksgiving. We will see you in 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah, dude.
We'll keep you guys updated on our Instagram page at KSFS NerdOut or NerdingOut. Handle will be there on the social media. Yeah. We'll be posting our episodes as always, and all that such. And stay tuned for more. Usually, it's almost the end of the semester, so we'll figure out what's up with that as well. But hopefully, we'll be back for next year when the next semester rolls around for season 2. So
yeah, dude.
as always, take care, y'all. We'll be playing our closing song. If anyone here is familiar with K-pop, let's start from Perfect Night. It's a collaboration with Overwatch 2. So yeah, thank you. It'll be nice. Take care, y'all. We will see you in 2 weeks, y'all. Stay safe, y'all. Goodbye.
Goodbye.